name is Desmond Parks, the CEO of Quality Clubs in Gainesville, Florida.
My name is Leon Aloya, owner of Candor Technical, also one of the owners of Well Mentality, which has a nonprofit arm of More Than an Athlete. The last role that I had was executive role with ExxonMobil, running the West Coast Rockies operation from the P&L perspectives. Big business, $2.2 billion revenue kind of business. And I sat there at the age of 40, was executive at that point in time for a year. And I said, I think there's more, and I quit. So yeah, Candor works on a lot of cool stuff. Definitely oil and gas and real estate. Some of the best items that we work on are when we can tap into smaller businesses that truly can see a bottom line impact. And even more than those smaller businesses generically across the board, but also those smaller businesses that kind of remind me of myself. And so today we're working with Quality Clubs that's owned and operated by Desmond Parks, former University of Florida Gator. And he's somebody that went pro in something else, not necessarily athletic based. And part of the work that we do with More Than an Athlete got us in contact with Desmond.
So from where we started this project about maybe 8 months ago during the football season. And from where we started and where we are now, the growth that I've been able to see Desmond take from taking extreme ownership from his business in his life, who was hurt early in his career and had to kind of pivot and take a new direction in life, being more than an athlete.
After my sophomore year, going into that year, I was a starter tight end, had great bright future ahead of me, and had a devastating career-ending injury happen right at the beginning of spring training. It was just a freak accident, something that can happen to anyone, but it just so happened to happen to me. Didn't really know what I was dealing with. There wasn't much when it came to mental health. At that point, it really began, I wouldn't say my downfall, but my insecurities within myself. Just like any athlete, you think you're gonna go pro, you wanna get your 3 to 4 years in, maybe get the degree, maybe not, depending on where you're gonna be drafted in the draft. Be that one that made it out of the community, that one that was in the impoverished situation, but you made it out. What I thought people saw in me, they no longer showed, or they never shared them with me anymore, because I wasn't providing the service of playing for them on the field, feeling self-blame for myself and, hey, what did I do wrong? Why did this happen to me?
That transition from athletics into life is a real challenge, like it is for anybody that's transitioning in life.
I actually disassociated myself from the sport that I grew up and loved and what actually got me to Gainesville.
Ed Jarman, who's a big stakeholder with the University of Florida Athletics, and Ed and I were chatting about, like basically, why are you here? Who do you know? What makes you tick in life? And we instantly started talking about football. And I mentioned to Ed our program about More Than an Athlete. Now, myself, Shalimar Jackson, Jeremiah Imperial, Marcus Dixon, a lot of former New Mexico State athletes, and even San Diego alums were all going pro and other things. As we started talking about those various types of dynamics, Ed instantly felt a connection. Sure enough, like clockwork, maybe a couple months later at the most, Ed called with the, hey, we think we have somebody that we can help right now.
Decided to come in and meet Houston to get out of Florida, get out of San Diego, to get to one of our central offices so we can meet outside of the location, to where we kind of build a collective plan outside of the environments where we work every day. To come and get involved and help him with developing more business structure, increasing his emotional intelligence, extreme ownership, finding some ways to increase his marketing in the business, because his product is amazing.
So we're here doing just that, going through all of the practices and procedures that Candor does and utilizes, and tools to identify all the way back to why are you even in existence.
It wasn't something that I was able to plan out and do like any other general proper business. It was fight or flight. So I did it out of necessity, and I didn't want it to work, it had to work.